Hello and welcome to the Part-Time Gamers, the gaming podcast for people with full-time lives. I'm Cyranex, clocking in with my good friends, 9 of 12.
Hello.
And that one weirdo.
Just so you all know, Chuck Norris actually died 20 years ago. A couple of days ago, the Grim Reaper finally had the nerve to tell him.
Yeah, pretty much. Chuck Norris thing is kind of weird because I've never actually looked into like what kind of life he's lived. I don't know what kind of person he actually is. I've heard like he's gotten
You just know
like,
all the jokes.
Yeah, other than all the jokes, yeah, I've heard like he's gotten like it was horribly MAGA at the end of it and all that. And
Yep.
I don't know.
Fuck
Yeah,
that.
It
cool.
was.
Yep, cool. So we can just continue making jokes at his expense.
But you know, the funny thing is his career rebounded so hard from the Chuck Norris facts. And the funny thing is when you remember like certain elements of your life, there's things you point to and you go, believe it or not, I remember probably more than my children's birth. They don't listen to the show, so we're fine. But I remember a buddy of mine who lived across the street from me. I was in Germany. And he was like, hey, have you heard this Chuck Norris facts thing? And I was like, huh? And he pulls this thing up, and like half the time I died laughing. I actually met him here at FanX briefly. He was fine. Maverick, it's a chain of convenience stores here. They actually carried a water with his name on it. And, me and my father didn't connect on a lot, but we did with Chuck Norris movies, and he was actually in the Air Force. Having said that, towards the end of his days, yeah, he was what he was. Yeah. There's just the facts. I'm one of those people, and yeah, it's kind of hard to kind of split the two, but I just look at both and just go, it's kind of one of those things where two things can be happening at the same time, and you don't have to be comfortable with it. You just go, yep.
Yeah.
Especially like the last 10 years of his life. Oh, buddy. Lots of red hats.
Anyway.
And not the cool kind like the St. Louis Cardinals.
If I ever get that brand of senile, just kill me.
Oh, and he had that weird toupee too. Like, I don't know if you guys saw that. And when I met him, he had it. And it's one of those things, because he also had like those veneers that didn't fit his face, where it was like, just shove them in there. They'll fit. And it's like, But I remember going up to him and it's like, wow, like I watched so many movies. Like, I was a big fan of this. And me and my dad actually got along talking about his movies. And I go up to him and he's like, hey. And the first thing I think is, don't stare at his hair. No. And like I said, cool dude in that setting.
Yeah.
But I mean, the whole time, and my girlfriend at the time was like, hey, you got to meet Chuck Norris. So I was like, I got to see Chuck Norris. I got to meet his hair. Diff.
Oh, it happened. There's not much else to say about it, honestly.
No.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. But yeah, after last week's fiasco that was high speed winds and power outages, which was not entirely fun, and also last week of having like ridiculous fever, that was not fun at all either.
Yeah.
I told you not to put those mushrooms on your pizza.
You should have told me before I actually ate it. Yeah.
Here's a hint. If the walls are talking to you in Latin and you somehow understand, not having ever taken Latin, that's a problem.
What if they're talking to me in Latin in Russian?
And now you're just showing off.
Yeah.
Now, if honestly, if they did, I want to know who you know. I'll take that pizza.
All right.
Let's give that a twirl.
All right. Anyways, we are back, and it is time for us to get to work.
Morning break is over. Morning break is over.
All right. So we are continuing on with our theme of Can I See Some ID? And today we're going into a little bit more of the less kind of thriller and more delving a little bit more into the horror aspects of the genre, I guess, with That's Not My Neighbor. So this is actually a very interesting kind of game because unlike the other two, which had a lot more development power behind them, even though they're still independent games and everything, they still have a lot more of an actual team behind them. This, I'm pretty sure, is just one dude. Developed and published by Nacho Sama, and excuse me, is currently $2.99 for Windows via Steam. And so there is originally this was on itch.io. There is a version on there. There is actually a free version on itch.io. Itch.io. Jeez. But there are differences. The one on itch is basically like 1.0. The one on Steam is considered the full 2.0 version. It's the latest version. It's got all the features. It's it's the one it's completely updated. So that's technically the full experience. But if you wanted to get an idea of what kind of the gameplay and stuff like that, and get some of the earlier gameplay, they do have a free version on there, and there's a whole thing with it. Like it's supposed to be a Linux and a Mac version, but it's also not the Steam version, and he has this whole like blog post on his itch page about like all the things that he promised and said he was doing, and this wasn't an early access. It's it's a basically like a release of the next version of the game, even though it's got the same title, and it's a whole thing. You can go to his itch page and look at there. But yeah, this is again one of those like identification, trying to find the discrepancies and such, with a little bit of a twist to it. So whereas Papers, Please, fictional like Cold War era country border allowing people in, all that jazz. And unlike Not Tonight, where it's a nightclub in post-Brexit, almost post-apocalyptic or dystopian Europe.
Yeah, it's so weird because it's like dystopia, but it's in 1955, like it's the past.
Yeah.
So not
Yeah,
used to
this
seeing
one-
post-apocalyptic in the past.
Yeah. So yeah, this one, it takes place in 1955, and what's kind of unique about this one is you are a doorman of like an apartment complex, I believe is what it is, and but for whatever reason, there's doppelgangers that they just exist, and
That's what you're protecting, I guess.
yeah.
No rhyme or reason. Just hey, what?
Yeah, I like
Something happened.
yeah, I'm not entirely sure if
And
they
now-
like actually explain like why there's doppelgangers. Oh, excuse me. Or if that's just the conceit of the game, or both. But you are a doorman at this apartment complex, working for the Doppelganger Detection Department, or just DDD, which are these guys in these hazmat-looking suits on the screen. And you have to try to figure out if the people coming to the door are actually people who live there, or if they're doppelgangers. And you have to ask them for their identification, and you have to look. Sometimes they make it very obvious, and sometimes there's slightly less obvious, but still kind of obvious ways that because their appearance can be different.
Yeah.
So you
You
have
have to check the picture and the name and
Yeah.
the date and the number, but sometimes it's something as simple as a mole is on the wrong side or an
Yeah.
eye color. Sometimes there's like a worm sticking out of their face.
yeah.
So
Yes.
that's not normal.
Yeah, no. I mean, sometimes it's even more so. Like, oh, they just don't have a face. It's just
Yeah.
completely missing. Yeah, it's like,
That
or
means they changed something in the Matrix.
yeah,
Or they just start talking nonsense. Like, what
yeah.
was the guy? Peach, Peach, Peach is Peach, 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 Peach. Like, Peach was part of the name of
Yeah.
the person they were trying to impersonate, but like all they could do is go bitch. Like
So yeah, sometimes it's more obvious than others, but some of them, once some of the like more challenging ones, are just like, oh, their eyebrow is like half a centimeter shorter than it should be, or something like that. Or
right.
or it's like there's a couple tenants in there who there are twins, and they are actually mirrored. So like their appearance is mirrored. So sometimes you'll get one of those that comes to the window, and you really need to make sure it's like, okay, match the name with the person, and make sure that it's the correct mirrored version of the twin and everything. And it's like, so sometimes it can get really, really subtle. Uh, but there is more than just the appearance of the actual person who comes to the window that is a factor. There is their paperwork. Sometimes they can have a completely impeccable, perfect uh, copy of the person's uh, look, but there's something wrong with the paperwork. So
Yeah.
that's
And
still
not
a
even
factor.
just the name and the number and the date. Like sometimes I saw where it's the logo of the doppelganger defense department was
Yeah.
incorrect.
Sometimes the logo, sometimes like it's the like one letter's wrong on the spelling of the person's name, or it could be the room that they're the apartment number that they're supposed to be living in. Another kind of very subtle and very clever thing that they have in this as well, is you can actually dial the number of the apartment. And so like if you have someone's there at the window, you can dial their apartment and see if there's actually someone still there, or if no one answers, then okay, it makes it much more plausible that this is the actual person. But it gets really kind of disheartening or tense when it's like, okay, cool, I let this person in, and then a couple, you know, tenants later, the same person comes to the window, is like, oh shit, did I
Yeah.
send the
Oh,
doppelganger
damn
in, or is this the doppelganger? It can get really nerve wracking like that. And one thing about I think at
I
least
mean, you're gonna find out because they're gonna
yeah
kill you.
yeah. But that is one thing about this as well, is you don't, unlike the other two games where they will give you a warning or whatever, they'll give you an indication of that it was incorrect right away. This, at least I think in the normal mode, I think there is a different mode that does it where it is immediate. But in this one, you don't find out until the end of the day. So
Yeah, there is a mode where you can as soon as you let the doppelganger in, it ends
yeah,
for you.
yeah. I don't remember which mode it is, but it might be the arcade mode or something like that.
I watched Markiplier.
Oh,
He
yeah.
irritates me so much. Like he's good enough at what he does that like I know he's gonna cover everything I want to see and everything in a reasonable amount of time, but he's so annoying.
I mean, he's a showman.
He yells all the time.
Yeah. I mean, it's part of his thing. Like
I know.
what just happened right here. He let this guy in, and then got the exact same person that came to the window again. So it's like, which one is the correct one? Oh, because yeah, you gotta check like because they have there's a little bit more involved with this one as well. It's not just, hey, these are my papers, check to see if they're in there or not.
Yeah, there's a list for the day.
Yep. They have a list of people that they're expecting to come in, that you have to, they're expecting to have come in that day.
Like basically, they've already been cleared, so you know they were leaving for the day. So
Yeah.
there's seems to be an awful lot of they're not on the list, and you're like, you're not on the list. They're like, oh, I had an emergency at work, I had to go out, and they've got
Yeah.
an excuse.
Yeah. sometimes that's the case where it's like you can bring that up and say it's like you can ask them questions about this kind of stuff and say yeah, you're not on the list. What's up with that? And it's like, oh, I had an emergency. I need to go do this thing. And it is a little bit of like it. I like the fact that with this one, it still very much has that same kind of vibe. The attention to detail, have to ask the right questions, have to look at the right things, all that, like the previous two games we talked about. But there is still some variety to it. There is some variation to it, with the fact that you sometimes it's blatantly obvious. I don't know if they'll show any of them on here where it's like just obvious. But you have the entry form, you have the folders with the tenants and where they are. It just adds that extra element of things to check for and try to catch these guys, these doppelgangers.
There's a weird
Also-
story. Another story thing that's not clear is the whole when you call the DDD because you got one.
Yeah.
First, you have to push the emergency button and it goes on lockdown. Then you call them, and then there's like cleaning mode complete, and all
Yeah.
you ever see from the DDD is a guy who's in a hazmat suit. So, I mean, I guess you assume they just kill him, but it's never.
Oh yeah, they dead. They're just
Like, don't
it
they
doesn't-
have? I mean, would it be more efficient to just install if you're gonna have those steel window drop in front of you? Just have it all drop and have an incinerator for when that happens, and then
yeah.
go back to work.
So like with
So you
this
don't have to wait.
this person who's playing apparently doesn't necessarily know that you're supposed to deny people because he's just letting everyone in. So this guy is probably gonna die.
Worst
right
bouncer
away.
ever.
Oh, and there's something. If is warn anybody who wants to go ahead and play this game, and it is a nice, quick and dirty. Sessions don't take that long. You can get out, and
Mhm.
it is only $2.99, so some good
Yeah.
part-time fun. But oh my God, you have to shut the door. So like you buzz people
Yeah.
in, and it's not like any actual apartment works where you have to buzz people in, and it just opens it, like it does for a hotel. It opens it and they go in and it closes when it
So-
shuts. No, it just stays open unless you close the door again. So if you're not careful, people just will walk right by you. So,
So
like
I do
every
think-
single time you let someone in, you have to lock the door again.
Yeah, I do think that is something that was updated. Because I made sure this video is from like about a month ago.
Okay.
So this has all the quality of life updates and all that. Okay, so I don't know.
Okay.
He might be playing arcade mode
Maybe you
or
don't
something
have to do
he
that
let
anymore.
it showed the 3 doppelgangers that he let in, including one whose literally his entire head was a nose. Yeah, but
Maybe he was just testing the system.
yeah,
Like what will
Oh.
happen
Remind me to
if I
skip the
don't?
cough syrup when I play this one. Ooh.
yeah.
Because you kind of want
I
to
mean,
know,
well,
right? Like, what's
yeah,
gonna happen? What happens if I don't catch him?
Yeah,
You got to try that at least once.
yeah. But so this, like I said, this is the most updated version, and they have made a little bit of quality of life choices or improvements, like the doors actually close.
Okay.
You don't have to like keep track of like pressing that button and making sure it's closed and everything. With the calling the DDD, it's you no longer have to actually dial it. You just hit the button and it automatically calls them. So some small stuff to make it a little bit easier on that front.
Yeah, because dialing was tedious. Like,
Yeah, because it's a
it
rotary
is
dial.
tedious even when you call the apartment because it's rotary.
Yeah, and it's 1955. It's a rotary dial, so yeah, it's just kind of irritating to have to do that every single time.
That
Um,
artifact.
Yeah.
Again, you've got an intercom you're using right there. You should have one for the apartment.
Well, it's 1955. I don't even know if they would have something like that especially
totally
in
had
this
intercom.
world.
Yeah.
But in addition to the normal campaign and the arcade mode and the custom mode, they apparently also have a card mode where you play a card game against a nightmare clown. which Nightmare Clown is an oxymoron.
I was
Let
gonna
me rephrase
say
that. Nightmare Clown is redundant. That's what I meant to say.
yes.
So I saw, and unless they changed it, the Nightmare Clown showing up
Yeah.
and just initiating a card game in the normal mode, like showing
Yeah.
up while you're being a doorman. Like it wasn't a separate mode.
Yeah.
And there was a different card game too. There are occasional mini games that happen with some weirdo showing up and asking if you want to play while you're just being a doorman.
And another example of obvious doppelganger. This guy, his brain is literally pulsing out of his head. I don't think you really need to
Yeah.
check on that. But
That's iffy.
in addition to this,
Although some of these the drawings are weird. Like, some of these people are like, oh my god, that is weird. It's so weird. Look at the ideas, like, wow, no, they look like that.
yeah,
Sorry, dude.
yeah. Some of them, like one guy, like he's got like this like ridiculous scars on his face, and it's like, nope, that's just how he looks. But in addition to all of these other modes that they have, they also have a nightmare mode where it's almost it's this a similar thing, except instead of trying to make sure that doppelgangers aren't getting in, like every character, like you're basically the doorman of hell.
Yeah, it's all like monsters.
Ugh. It gets just it gets
That sounds like an
nightmarish.
anime waiting to happen. I'd watch the hell out of that.
Doorman of hell.
Yeah. You're in has been.
Yeah.
And it's harder. It's harder, and I think it gave them more freedom to play around with what they're drawing too. Because
Yeah.
Nightmare Mode, you have a guy who's got like all these tattoos and stitches and bolts, and like it's more than the average people you were looking at and checking for if they were doppelgangers. There's only so much variance you can get into. With the monsters, there's like, oh, does she have the right number of tentacles sticking out of her neck? Like,
Yeah.
and X number of bolts and stitches, and it's a lot of
Yeah.
detail
So like
to have to match up.
Yeah. So this person does end up going to nightmare mode. So I was able to scrub through the video and see where they had some of this, and you'll be able to
Only
get
find
this.
the teeth thing.
Yeah. Yeah. We got basically Frankenstein's monster at the window right now with a couple tattoos. Also, the window
Because
itself has
sometimes the
eyes.
description, the written description, for instance, will say something about has very sharp teeth.
Yeah.
And then you have to go in and question the person just to get them to open their mouth so you can check that.
Yeah. But yeah, oh man, it's like, yeah, this is, yeah.
It's
It's
a
definitely-
different one. I mean, it's a little. It's, and I know a lot of the stuff, the way it's set up, is obviously meant to, kind of throw you off. But most of it, like you said, is like, okay, this isn't a David Lynch movie. That's not supposed to be happening. Got
Yeah.
it. Okay. And that's kind of the fun. And yeah, Nightmare Clown. Wow, that's. Yeah, like I mean, every time I repeat that, and even from the first time you said it, like it just made my stomach churn. Like Nightmare
Yeah.
Clown,
Yeah, like I said, it's a redundant statement.
I don't have a clown
great name for a
problem.
punk band.
I used to have a
Yeah.
roommate who went to clown college. I don't have a clown problem.
But yeah, so like I'm showing some of the nightmare mode, and it's like you have a woman here who has 2 sets of teeth on her cheeks, and it looks like it looks like a crown made of flesh. So that's distressing. So this definitely goes more into the kind of horror
I
aspect
thought your
as much
beard was
as
itchy.
as much as the art style allows. But this is also another example of like the art style doesn't have to be crazy to get the point across.
Well, especially if it fits the motif of the game. Like that's, I mean, that's kind of what makes games similar to this so great. Like the visual fits the narrative, knowing that it's not like a AAA game where they throw a bunch of money at it and then got it all wrong. Suicide Squad, excuse me. But having said that, I will never let that one go. It should have been made by Ubisoft, okay? But it fits the motif of what they're doing, so it kind of sets the mood and sets the tone. And
Yeah, it's
this
very
fits
simple,
perfect.
basic. You know, it doesn't have to be fancy. It's
Yeah,
about
could
the
you imagine if
gameplay.
this was like ultra 4K of like some of these people's faces with the jaws on both? Freaking nightmare fuel. Even Clive Barker would be like, nah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I mean,
about the gameplay, and that's fine.
Yeah, and you know, this, I like the fact that there is that attention to detail. They're actually like in custom mode, you can actually make your own tenants as well, so you can make your own, you know, customize the game. Go figure in custom mode.
Oh, and I should have taken notes. So, because there were in nightmare mode, there were some nods to like horror writers and characters and little subtle like, oh, that's cute. They named that after, you know, that vaguely type thing. It was, I enjoyed that. I should have taken notes so I could remember who those are, but it's something to keep an eye out for.
Yeah, like a guy just had on the screen is definitely modeled
With
after
the pinhead thing
Hellraiser.
going. Yeah.
So yeah, definitely. It's got the simplicity but it does have that attention to detail as well. I mean, it's $3. If you,
it's not a bad score for $3. It's really not.
Yeah.
Especially if you're into stuff that are kind of really, I mean, not just the animation, but obviously the whole theme, like really colors outside the lines. And these days, that's a lot of the fun games.
Yeah.
You know, where it's like, well, what's being done there? You know, and you kind of peek over the wall a little. And these days, that's more of the fun games, especially than, you know, well, let's spend all this money on Marathon. Good luck.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's definitely it's definitely worth the $3. You definitely get a lot of replay value out of it. With, you know, the different modes, with nightmare mode, with just trying to go for a high score in arcade mode. Again, like I said, being able to create your own tenants. You pretty much
finish it in not a whole lot of time.
Yeah.
But then go back to it down the road, just something to do for a little bit.
Yeah.
Yep.
That kind of game. So definitely.
Oh. Yeah, definitely a good, and it's nice. Like I said, it kind of goes into that a little bit more of the horror direction that you can go into with the with this kind of game. Get away from the just dystopian settings that we've had in Papers, Please and Not Tonight. So, which the horror, like, I think the next game we'll talk about kind of combines the two, because it's almost dystopian and horror to a degree, because it's zombie apocalypse. But we'll get into that one. But yeah, overall, you know, definitely worth it. Like September said, you can jump in, do one run, feel like you did something, jump back out. Definitely get a lot of value out of $3 playing that. All right, so I think we've covered everything on that. Before we get to our water cooler talk, I have to have a better segue for this, but we're going to run a Twitch ad just to get that out of the way, so we won't be interrupted by that. And yeah, we'll kind of chit chat for a little bit. So be back in 3 minutes. All right. Hopefully that should be going soon.
And so speaking of the unaffordability of AAA games these days, I split Pokopia with my son. Like,
yeah,
the only way either of us was gonna get it.
Yeah, I can't even bend my head. Like, I got to sample Marathon, and I mean the visuals are out of this world, but the gameplay is like, oh, you took a dog turd and you put shiny wrapping paper on it. And not that the gameplay is out and out horrible, but they were like, well, why is it underperforming? And it's like, yes, there are genres that are very specific and meant to be, but if you're just going to put glaze on a 2-day-old donut and think nobody will notice. We noticed.
Yeah. I don't know, like the whole. I know it's not necessarily a hero shooter. It's an extraction shooter and such, but I don't know, at least from my perspective, that is a genre that I have no interest in. Because it's like, cool, I do this stuff. I go in here, I find all this stuff for an hour, and some random dude having a bad day decides, you know what, I'm just gonna kill him before he gets to extraction, and I get nothing. I mean,
Yeah.
It's one thing to have that happen in a roguelike. It's something completely different to have that in an extraction shooter.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just not a game that I want to play. That doesn't sound fun to me. Although
Well, especially considering that model's been done over and over and over and over again. And once again, is it pretty to look at? Yes.
Oh yeah, I don't doubt it.
Is it something that gauges that long term based within just the gameplay? No. Would I watch YouTube video of it? Constantly. But at that price, pay for it? No.
Although I mentioned this on Discord, something very weird happened to my brain this past week with Resident Evil 9. I have never played a single Resident Evil game. I've never had any real interest in playing a Resident Evil game. I've more or less watched two streamers play through the entire thing. So I'm already know what the story is for the most part. So I'm not being surprised by that. Yet I almost never buy full price games. And I end up pulling the trigger and getting it, and I've been playing it for I actually was playing it literally 10 minutes before we started the show. And I'm actually having a really good time with it. I thought that I was prepared for the scares. I am not. And that's not necessarily a bad thing.
I can't believe you didn't ask me to come hold your hand there.
I know. I was thinking about it. I might go through one playthrough and then maybe stream the second playthrough. I don't know. I just wanted to play through it.
I was telling Rob you were gonna play, and he's like, "Oh, does he scream like Scott?" I'm like,
no. I just
no.
I can
But
just
he
hear
does
my
get very
heartbeat through my
scared.
ears.
Yeah, and I can at least help. I haven't played the game. I can't do a walkthrough like John and okay, now go do this. It's gonna be okay, man, because I don't know the game that well. But I can keep things light and calm you down because I am not prone to jump scares. That game is really good at tension building.
Yeah,
that's the good scary part.
Yeah.
Because
they have a couple different enemies that they're not necessarily, if you encounter them, you do have the ability to run away from them if you know where you're going, but they are imposing and they are kind of ever present, even when you can't see them. So that definitely builds the tension. It's got a little bit of the Alien Isolation formula with that. Which is, I mean, John, I'm wondering if John even has the ability to be afraid. Cause there's at least a couple times where I was like, it definitely got me with a jump scare. Yes. Jump scare.
Jump square.
It's very hard to jump scare me. I know you know that. And I also, I don't know. Big, scary horror tension. Part of my reaction is to kind of laugh at that. And it's just funny to me instead of, even when it happens in real life too, though. I've been in situations where I was genuinely in danger and I'm like, and it's a really full body horror mess monster. I'm just like, ew. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't scare.
Sometimes it doesn't land.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm actually planning on playing more of that once we get done with the show tonight. We're going to bed.
Hot.
All right.
Add time to go turn on the AC.
Oh, but yeah, our ad's been done for a little bit, so now we can get to our water cooler talk, which I have left over since last week because I still wanted to talk about it.
You get that thing I sent you?
Ooh,
Yeah,
ooh.
I got it.
So
That's
even
old
though this
news. It
is
that he just spoke out, like, or something?
yeah,
Oh,
he
yeah, I guess
he
he
was
just talked about it. Okay.
yeah, this is a little bit older now. It's over a week old, but I still wanted to talk about this one. So Jeff Kaplan of formerly of Blizzard Entertainment, formerly the head developer for Overwatch, most notably, but he's done other projects as well within Blizzard.
Yeah,
Recently
what I meant
had-
about old news is like it 2021. It's like,
yeah, I mean
but-
it's probably some like they still had
but
to
now he's talking about it.
yeah, they still had to redact some financial details that he discusses because he still is under non-compete or what, or is it not non-compete, non-disclosure.
Non-disclosure.
Yeah, he's still under some contractual thing that prevents him from being able to give those kinds of details. So in the interview with the person he's talking to, he says those numbers, but in the actual published interview, they bleep it out. But one notable thing is he specifically the interview is 5 hours long and has a whole lot of details in it. I have not actually watched the whole thing, but like one main part that at least this article talks about is what he refers to as the biggest fuck you moment I've had in my career. Where basically the CFO at the time, I'm trying to see if they have his name in here. It's not their current CFO, but the CFO at the time. Here it is. What ultimately broke me in my Blizzard career was I got called into the CFO's office, and he sits me down and he says, Overwatch has to make blank amount of money in 2020, and then every year after that needs to reoccurring revenue of whatever the amount is, Kaplan recalled. And then he says to me, if it doesn't do X dollars, we're laying off 1,000 people and it's going to be on you. We speculated for years the amount of corporate overreach that was happening within Blizzard. And this just lays it out and says, yeah, they were overreaching a lot. Where it's just like, it goes so antithesis to the beginning of Blizzard.
That is that thing. It's the CFO,
Yeah.
being the problem and causing this. It's that board spreadsheet focused. Like,
Yeah.
we've got all these great plans for this game, but it was just like this Activision Blizzard overstepping. Like, well, no, it has to make this outrageous amount of money, but you can't be actually working the game because you have to do all these other ridiculous things we promised.
Yeah.
Like
Like
instead of keep the game fresh and keeping this league supported, they're like, well, no, you need to make uniforms for every OWL team, and
yeah.
merch design and shit that.
Yeah, that's one of the things that he says is like detracted a lot from the actual development of the game was they were trying to support the Overwatch League for so much of this.
And the Overwatch League was a great idea, and it was
In
awesome.
theory.
I was so
Oh, yeah.
excited about it, but
Yeah.
I got people to watch freaking esports at a local bar,
Yeah.
and that they were asking me questions about it, and like that was awesome, but they overpromised the investors.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because they were proposing that it would be like actual on-site, like they would have multiple stadiums across the world and actually have like on-site
Yeah.
fights for the Overwatch
They're
League.
trying to do like level up, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh,
It's like, no, just have one stadium, just have all the teams there, and just do that.
And what they got
Yeah,
like 20
just put 'em on
million, I
Southwest.
think, out of investors.
Well, and
What's that?
also the
then
dollars and cents, always plays into stuff. But then it kind of goes back to, well, and it's always that case of like, okay, it has to do this or else. And it's like, well, why don't we focus one on what matters to kind of get to that point, and two, and this is obviously even before now, where it's like, okay, you're spending $300 million on getting a game made that
yeah,
eventually comes out, and by the time it hits, it's been talked about and glazed over and all these things, where it's like by the time it hits, and then it's like, well, nobody played it, or it didn't get the investment we wanted, and it's like,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, apparently they took like 20 million from investors, and then they were letting these investors who don't know shit about actual gaming, right?
right,
And just letting them. Oh, but we need to put this feature in because they asked for it. We need to. They were beholden
Yeah.
to their investors to do all kinds of dumb shit that was keeping them from being able to actually work on the game and help the league
Yeah.
succeed in any
yeah.
way.
Heaven forbid the
Yeah.
game actually be the focus of the game. That's just weird, huh?
Yeah. It's
And the whole 2 debacle was part
Yeah.
of that.
oh.
Oh
I mean,
yeah.
yeah, because that's the big thing for me. Like even beyond Overwatch League, because there was like the first season of Overwatch League, I actually enjoyed watching it.
Mhm.
After that, I think what really happened was I just stopped really caring about Overwatch at that point, just playing it myself. Oh, because there was like a lot of my friends stopped playing it, and I don't like playing competitive stuff by myself. Uh, so I just kind of fell off the game itself, and because of that I never really watched Overwatch League as well, and I was also kind of, I mean, it's nothing
And I feel
necessarily.
like, and it's not mentioned in this, but I feel like that's what happened with Heroes of the Storm too,
Yeah,
because that was
probably.
getting play on competitively on like ESPN 3 or whatever the heck, one of those channels. They were showing Heroes of the Storm's game too,
Yeah,
and
I'm.
that tits up.
I mean, but that
Stop
could also
supporting it.
be.
I think they over promised, and
Yeah, I mean, that could also be like they were. I think that was kind of coinciding with Overwatch League as well. So they're probably like, well, if it doesn't make this amount of money, then we're not going to bother supporting it anymore. And then
Mhm.
it's like, why can't, like, because they were like, they wanted Overwatch League to bring in like World of Warcraft money, which is like, that is almost literally a physical impossibility. It's like,
yeah.
World of Warcraft is such a unicorn in the gamosphere that
Mhm.
it's like, it's almost impossible to replicate that. Just the
Well, I
perfect
think he said
timing.
something in the interview about like they thought they were promising like NFL money, and like what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
do you not realize the large task in front of you to even normalize esports as sports? And
Yeah.
it's like they took those first few steps, and with greed and poor, planning and lack of insight, blew it all up,
Yeah.
and basically tried to make him the scapegoat
Yeah. And
over decisions he did not have control over.
yeah.
Because that's what CFOs do.
Oh. And I think I just realized kind of the genesis of why he did this interview is because he's in another company. He's like the the CEO, or he's higher up of another developing company, and they're preparing to, they like announced their first game. So I think that's what kind of is the, what brought him back into media. Oh, Jeff Kaplan, that is. But he, by all accounts, he
Yeah, what
seemed like a really
is it?
awesome guy. I mean, he does some like just hilarious things. Like I remember the one year, oh, he did like a 5 hour, like, I don't know how long it was, but it was like a multiple hour stream of him just like sitting in an armchair in front of a fireplace as for oh, like the Yule log for Christmas. And it's like there's one like people were giving like highlights. As it's like at this point in the video, Jeff Kaplan eats a cookie, and it's literally just something like, on camera just eating a cookie. And randomly at some point he gets hit in the head with a boom mic. And he just like looks at the person and is like, what are you doing?
Oh my gosh. They do mention, by the way, who the CFO was. It was Dennis Durkin, and he left the company a month after Kaplan.
Oh yeah,
Ouch,
that's where he
man.
says. Oh
Okay, The Legend of California is this new game.
yeah. Yeah, that's what it
Check
is.
this out.
Oh
Multiplayer action survival FPS.
yeah,
the island
Dreamhaven,
of
publisher
California
founded by
during the Gold Rush
ex-Blizzard
era.
boss Mike Morhaime, is publishing the game. Oh,
Okay, so they're publishing, but he's got his own studio.
yeah. Okay, yeah. Kaplan's new
Kintsugiana.
studio,
Kintsugiana.
Yeah,
So I just
that one.
sorry.
Oh, yeah. It's just
Yeah, speaking of Dreamhaven, when's that shit coming?
yeah. That's kind of the unfortunate thing with what's been going on with a lot of the ex-Blizzard, former Blizzard developers and stuff like that going and making their own things is they're trying to do things that aren't Blizzard, but in a Blizzard way. And the formula is just off just a little bit, to the point where it's just nothing's clicking like it used to, like when they were in Blizzard. It doesn't have that same
I don't know.
magic.
Rhodes got Snap, and that's doing great.
What was that?
Ben Rhodes got Snap.
Oh yeah. He's
and that's
he got-
doing great.
yeah. I mean, he's definitely gotten
I
lucky
play
with that.
Pretty much every day. I don't,
Yeah.
but I don't play Hearthstone anymore.
Yeah, neither do I. I don't think I've played Hearthstone in I don't know how many years now.
I tried to
Um,
pick it up again sometime last year 'cause a bunch of Shane's people I hang out with some nights play, and it's too much. It's too bogged down. It doesn't.
Yeah.
They've added so much. It's so convoluted and complex, and I didn't even feel like I could catch up. It didn't feel good, even
Yeah.
though they gave me tons and tons of shit for coming back. It was like, okay, but it's so much that I don't even know what it means, and
Yeah.
new mechanics and modes, and not a way to play the way I did know how, even to
Yeah.
transition anymore that I could find. So, yeah, it's like, nah, never mind.
Yeah. I don't know, part of it is just my time has changed. My mental load has changed. Which again, it's like I want to be able to just like. I actually had this conversation like yesterday with one of my friends on the subject of Resident Evil, how he dropped out of the series on Village, which is arguably one of the better entries, widely considered one of the better entries in the series. And that was the one that he bounced off almost immediately because it was linear. Because he was said it was advertised as big like more open world choices and everything, like you can roam around and everything like that. And it's like, and then for him it felt still too directed.
I
Which-
think that's the one Rob played last. Like, he's only played one of the Resident Evil games, and it was basically like, oh, this looks really cool. Like, and then he got in there, and it was too scary for him. It was just like,
I mean, Village,
you know what?
Yeah.
Nope. It's like he yikes out of that. Like,
Yeah, from what I've heard, like the one of the scariest entries is 7, which is the one just before Village, where that's like one of the first ones where they go first person, and I've seen some gameplay of it, and yeah, it's terrifying. It is that like definitely that survival horror aspects to it, but. I forgot where I was going with this. But it's like for me,
I'm just bad at all the fighting type stuff
yeah.
in games, so that's why I don't play it.
I mean, I
know I'm gonna be bad at it, and it'll frustrate me. So
there is a casual mode to it, so
I like the
Right.
scary parts.
I don't know. Like the funny thing is, like I think the reason why my brain latched onto it this time is because both streamers that I watched made wildly different choices with their gameplay styles. And it's like, no, I want to do this my way.
Yeah.
So it looks like it has some good replay value as well. You can do multiple run throughs and have a little bit different experience with it and everything. There's a lot of unlocks. I like the fact that's linear. Because that's where we were going with my mental load. I have so much decision making I need to do on a daily basis with work. When I want to relax, I don't want to think too much.
Mm-hmm.
So having that direction is really good for me. And I think part of the problem, bringing it back to Blizzard, I think that's part of the problem with me trying to get, thinking about Hearthstone. Because there would be so much mental load trying to figure out how to build a deck. How to be, decent at building a deck. With all of the different changes that have happened over the years, I'm sure there's a dozen different new mechanics that they've added to it.
Well, and you can have it do it for you, and they have modes that are just kind of give you a deck, but then that part isn't enjoyable to me because then I'm like,
Yeah.
well, then I still don't really know what's going on.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I had enough control to enjoy what I'm doing.
Yeah. But I mean, despite this, what this article is talking about with, what the situation was with Overwatch, I do think that they are, now that they have a little bit more, it does seem that they have a little bit more freedom under Microsoft than they did under Activision. It seems to be at least a little less overreach.
Well, and they got rid of a lot of people.
Yeah.
For a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
But yeah, since Microsoft, I think, I don't know.
I do think
Overwatch is making a comeback right now.
Yeah, I mean, I actually played actually gotten back into it, and there seems to be they dropped the 2, so now it's just back to Overwatch.
Yeah.
Which it's more symbolic than anything else, because they didn't want this. It's not a game that's supposed to have a sequel. It's supposed to just continue on and be added to. It's supposed to be more of a platform than an individual game. And plus, all the promises that they were initially making for Overwatch 2 that they didn't do, they're basically saying it's okay, we're trying to distance ourselves from those past mistakes, from whatever corporate overreach source they were from, and we're just going to go to what it is now. So that's having a comeback. Even though Heroes of the Storm has theoretically been on maintenance mode for years now, it's still getting updates. They're still getting balance updates.
Yeah, I heard that. Kind of makes me want to play.
I mean, I kind of want to play it too. That is a game that I actually really like.
I pop into Rumble now and again just for the hell of it.
Yeah, that one I never got
broken
into
because no one's playing, but
yeah,
I really kind of liked it.
Yeah, I kind of want to get back into Heroes of the Storm as well. Although, one thing I like about it, call me a casual if you want, I like the fact that has a versus AI mode. I don't like necessarily competition. I just like the game.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that allows me to enjoy the game, enjoy the characters, being able to play it without the stress of, I'm facing another dude, who's probably 14 years old and has 3 times the reaction speed. Is 4-digit APM.
Playing Heroes of the Storm, and that's the event that birthed Geek Girls podcast. So
yeah,
it has a very special place in my heart.
Yeah.
And one of the best game winning moves I've ever had in my life. I don't play a lot of team competitive games, but there I was, and ETC power slid into a win, and It was amazing.
Yeah.
That game is so good for moments.
Yeah. So it is good to see that they do seem to be trying to right some of the mistakes. Oh, I mean, I'm sure there's going to still be a lot more mistakes made. That's just the nature of game
Fingers
development.
crossed.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
But
feel like this resurgence is going well right now.
yeah.
I have a son who's back into playing it a lot.
Yeah. But
He's
yeah,
been off
anyone
Blizzard for a while. He just came out and he's like, "Mom, damn, Blizzard can make a game." I'm like,
yeah.
"Yeah,
Yeah, when they're actually left to make
when you let him cook."
yeah,
Yeah.
that is the correct terminology that I was struggling to find. Uh yeah, when you let them cook, they can make a good game. Anyways, yeah, so you can find the article on Polygon. I have it linked in our chat. You can find it's like I said, I think it's a 5-hour interview with Jeff Kaplan. This was just one little segment of like kind of highlight from it, but they go into quite a bit of why he left Blizzard, what was going on, and all that jazz. So it could be a pretty good watch. I might end up watching it myself at some point too. But yeah, it's 5 hours. Anyways, everyone, I think that is a good place for us to call it a night. Especially because I want to get back to Resident Evil. Anyway.
Yes.
All right, everyone.
I feel like almost a proud papa. I mean, I know it's not like. Well, and we talked about real quick. So we talked about jump scares and how some of them hit and some of them don't. To this day, one of my favorite jump scares that literally I was like, did I leave pee behind? Was the very first Resident Evil when the dogs come through the windows.
Yeah.
And to this day, I think of that when I think of like some of the best scares, the safe ones, not the ones in the desert places. But it is kind of one of those things where like that game particularly was one of those like, oh, this can be a video game. Like they
Yeah.
can like we can do this. And keep in mind we're talking PS1. And I was still like,
Yeah.
I'm sold. And then fast forward 30 plus years later, and I'm still, my son bought the edition with all the bells and whistles, and he's still just playing and playing and playing. And he's like, hey, how far are you? I'm like, I sleep, my son. You, on the other hand, you're probably buried in like, this weird, awkward pyramid of like empty Mountain Dew cans where I value sleep. In 20 years, you'll get it. Right now, go for it.
Speaking of Mountain Dew cans.
There you go.
And I have this as well. But so like two kind of random jump scares that are very memorable to me. One of them shouldn't have been as nearly as bad, but for whatever reason, it still haunts me. One of the earlier segments of the game, Fear. You are on this roof and you're going past these like this bricked area or whatnot. And I was looking to my left and I'm slowly turning to my right just as the main antagonist has a 2x4 right about here on my character's face. I literally stopped the game and I don't think I ever went back to it after that, actually. That one, for whatever reason, just got me just because of the timing on it. One of the other, like, actually, this one, I have a clip of it on my YouTube somewhere. Somewhere there's a clip of it. It was from a couple Halloweens ago when I was playing Phasmophobia in VR. And one of the evidences you can get is called dots, where you can see just like a ghostly image of the ghost. And it just happened to walk through me in VR. And yeah. Like I said, you could probably find the clip somewhere. It's somewhere around here. And yeah, it scared the crap out of me.
You had that, but that, whoa.
Yeah, it was like, it was like,
That's awesome.
yeah, it was, yeah, it was
Scared so
intense.
good you don't forget them. It's the best.
Yeah. Anyways, we were about to go into an outro. So everyone, thank you for watching. Please join us next week. We're going to be finishing up this series with our discussion of Quarantine Zone, which is going to be interesting. And programming note, the following 2 weeks, the first 2 weeks of April, we're not going to be doing a show. April 5th is Easter, so we're going to be taking that off for that. And then the following weekend, the following Sunday, I'm going to be out of town. Actually out up north with a bunch of friends playing board games for the weekend. So it's about the closest thing I've had to a vacation in the last over a decade. So we're not going to be doing an episode recording that week either. But we'll keep everyone informed about what we're going to be talking about, and go from there. But yeah, next week is going to be Quarantine Zone. So everyone, thank you for listening. If you like what you've heard and you'd like to help us out, a few ways you can do that are by giving us a review over on Apple Podcast. You can follow my Twitch channel for the live recordings Sunday nights starting at 9:15 Eastern Time, or the YouTube channel for the VODs shortly afterwards. Or you can leave us a tip over on our Ko-fi. If you'd like to contact us, you can with our email, parttimegamers.cast@gmail.com. Or you can join our Discord channel. You can find this show and links to everything around it using the link bit.ly/CI Productions. Emma, where can people find you on the internet?
Well, the easiest thing to do is to go to 9of12.com. That's NINEOF12.com, and it'll point you to all my projects.
And Theo, where can people find you around the internet? Preferably that's safe for work.
You know, I really feel like if I could take what I just said, that mumble, and put it into a word, somehow I would make that my link, like www.com. It's worth a shot. Right now, nowhere except here. Some things have finally calmed and got normal. Well, normal for me. In my world. So I'm hoping to get back to doing at least a solo podcast of my own soon. So fingers crossed.
Cool. All right, everyone. Until next time, we are the Part-Time Gamers clocking out.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.